Oh, Captain, my Captain. 4 short years ago, Captain Marvel burst onto the scene, soaring into the Marvel Cinematic Universe at the zenith of its power. Back then, Marvel could do no wrong. Every movie they churned out was a guaranteed smash hit. Captain Marvel herself was poised to be the next Tony Stark, the fresh face of the brand. The character set to lead Marvel into a glorious new decade and beyond. But, how the tides have turned. In the blink of an eye, 4 years have transformed the MCU from an unstoppable juggernaut into a faltering and tarnished brand. Failed movies and lackluster TV shows have left fans disenchanted, and the mainstream media now openly mocks the once mighty franchise.
Definitely not.
The scent of blood lingers in the air. And Captain Marvel? She's gone from a superhero superstar to a forlorn and embarrassing misstep, a character ostracized from the MCU family. Her appearances are reduced to mere cameos, struggling to remind the world that she still exists. The much-anticipated sequel, plagued by delays, rewrites, and on-set conflicts, is finally set to burst onto the scene. The trailers have pulled out every trick in the book to generate interest, and the anticipation has been building. It's like a giant post-kebab... Let's try that again. It's like a giant post-kebab turd that Marvel could no longer hold in. It had to be squeezed out into the world. All right, here's the one to keep in. It's like a giant post-kebab turd that Marvel could no longer hold in. It had to be squeezed out into the world. We begin our journey in the vastness of space, where we encounter a space wizard lady. She stumbles upon a mystical bangle hidden on a random planet. Little does she realize that this bangle is the cosmic counterpart to one held by Kamala Khan, our beloved Miss Marvel. Now you might be wondering, who's Kamala Khan? Well, she's a character from a Disney Plus show that didn't gain much attention. But wait, there's more obscurity ahead. Remember Monica Rambeau? She's gone from being a superhero to an astronaut thanks to some cosmic powers granted by the Scarlet Witch. And guess what? She can now phase through solid objects. It's quite unusual, isn't it? But here's where things take a disappointing turn. The entire magical space portal system that the universe relies on starts malfunctioning. Nick Fury's base, once bustling, is now an empty shell. And both Captain Marvel and Monica Rambeau decide to investigate simultaneously. It's quite the unfortunate coincidence. Suddenly, a massive energy surge disrupts the cosmos, causing everyone to swap places as if they were playing cosmic musical chairs. It's bewildering, especially when you consider that their clothes come along for the ride. But Monica's spacesuit is left behind. We can't have wardrobe malfunctions for a teenage girl. This is Marvel. Moving on. Now, our trio of heroes finds themselves quantum entangled, meaning that they can switch places when they use their powers together. I'm really starting to think Marvel doesn't know what that word actually means. It's a handy ability, but why is this happening? Nobody really knows, so we'll just accept it, even though it's kind of disappointing. Amidst all the chaos, we sadly discover that there is this generic space wizard lady pulling the strings. Not much of a surprise, really. Turns out she's a warrior trying to save her homeworld from extinction, all because Captain Marvel unintentionally set off a civil war by destroying a crucial AI. It's a real bummer. And that civil war had some pretty tragic consequences, even making their son go kaput. Civil wars, am I right? Not the happiest stories. To make matters worse, messing around with those magical bangles messes up the magical jump point network, and that's like a threat to reality itself. Marvel seems to have a thing for those giant, scary space portals, right? Now, our trio of strong ladies has to team up to stop this generic space wizard lady from wrecking the multiverse. Eventually, they manage to close the portal, but here's the kicker. Monica Rambeau gets stuck in some alternate reality. And guess who she runs into there? X-Men's Beast? And her mom, a character most people probably forgot about, is apparently alive and well. What a twist. Not a good one, but it is technically a twist. At least we got Beast from the X-Men making his grand entrance into the MCU. You might remember Patrick Stewart's cameo as Professor Xavier in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness last year, but this time it's Beast's turn to shine, baby. He not only name drops Charles Xavier, but also drops a bombshell. Monica is from a parallel reality. Picture this, Monica seemingly trapped in a universe where the X-Men exist. But hold on, is that the same world as Fox's X-Men movies? The suspense is killing us. But that's not all, folks. Brace yourself for the second surprise cameo that hits you like a bolt of lightning. Just when you thought you couldn't handle any more excitement, Miss Marvel and Kate Bishop, played by the talented Haley Steinfeld, steal the spotlight. If you remember the iconic scene at the end of 2008's Iron Man when Nick Fury recruited Tony Stark for the Avengers Initiative, get ready for deja vu. Miss Marvel hilariously recreates that very moment, appearing in the shadows just like Fury did, but this time it's Kate Bishop who gets the invitation to join a larger team. Hold on to your seats, there's more. Miss Marvel isn't stopping there. She's dropping hints like breadcrumbs for Marvel enthusiasts. She mentions Ant-Man's daughter, Casey Lang, played by Katherine Newton, who made her appearance in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania this year. What's the big deal? Well, it suggests that the Young Avengers, straight from the page of the comics, are finally making their way into the MCU. The anticipation for this epic team-up is reaching fever pitch. Nia DaCosta's direction in this film is a roller coaster ride of competence and chaos. While she manages to pull off some epic early fight scenes with characters constantly swapping like a game of high-stakes musical chairs, the movie's real problem lies in its massive writing and editing flaws. Let's start with the CGI, which, to be fair, wasn't Costa's fault. It's like they handed her a beautiful canvas and then let a toddler go wild with finger paints on it. But hey, that's a forgivable offense. What's harder to forgive is the constant character switching, which feels like a desperate attempt to level the playing field after Captain Marvel became an unstoppable force. They turned her into Superwoman without kryptonite and are now scrambling to concoct reasons why she can't fix everything with a snap of her fingers. Nick Fury, our beloved master spy, feels like a fish out of water in this movie. His subplot seems completely disconnected from the rest of the chaos, and if you haven't watched Secret Invasion, you'll be scratching your head wondering what's going on. Let's face it, Fury stopped being Fury the moment he lost his eye to a cat scratch. And the imposter playing him cares less and less about keeping up the charade. Now, let's talk about generic space wizard lady seeking revenge on Captain Marvel. She's pursuing her vendetta in the most absurd way possible, hurting the people she cares about. Because that makes sense. But here's the kicker, nothing's stopping Captain Marvel from doing the same thing again. She didn't even know about the quantum entanglement thing until later in the movie, which means she could have gone on a rampage with no consequences. And let's not forget about the mess in the editing room. Characters teleport from one location to the next without a rhyme or a reason. We're not even talking about the ridiculous bangle thing, it's like they magically appear whenever the plot demands. Interesting character arcs and relationships are hinted at and then resolved immediately without any real explanation. Ultimately, the Marvel's movie falls short in several key areas, leaving me and the general audience, well, we're not mad, we're just disappointed. Its CGI is chaotic and overdone, resembling a toddler's finger painting rather than a polished cinematic experience. The constant character switching feels forced and undermines the storyline, while Nick Fury's subplot seems disconnected and confusing to those unfamiliar with Secret Invasion. The generic space wizard antagonist quest for revenge lacks depth and credibility, with Captain Marvel's lack of vulnerabilities further detracting from the plot's tension. Editing issues plague the film as characters teleport inexplicably, and promising character arcs are left unresolved. Overall, the Marvel struggles to deliver a cohesive and satisfying cinematic experience for its raving fans. So what do you think, viewers? Are we excited for the Young Avengers, or is it going to be a big miss? Drop your comments below and stay tuned to our channel. Until next time.